There's so much going on with Cardano projects right now. It seems like everybody's having trouble keeping up. We've even got some moon and space related things going on today. And I'm not referencing price related moon talk. We're talking about the actual moon and space here. Ready? Let's go. We're going to talk about World Mobile taking Cardano to what looks like the actual edge of space, the artifact moon project based on actual data from the moon. Vacuum Labs being very busy today, dropping two different things, and Pavia releasing the additional sections of the map. Finally, we're going to cover the Fed meeting. I know, your eyes are glazing over because you're super terrified. It's going to be extremely boring. We're going to try to make it not boring. We're going to try to make it understandable, comprehensible, concise, all those good things. Look at what World Mobile has going on here. We've talked before about how they have these aerostats, these balloons that fly apparently much higher than I thought. They fly around and help World Mobile bring connectivity to people in Zanzibar. Obviously, there are plans for everything to expand beyond Zanzibar in the future. But they posted this picture. This is a picture, if you're just listening, this is a picture of what looks like the edge between sky and space. You see the blackness of space at the top of the picture, and then obviously the atmosphere of the Earth down below. Apparently, these balloons are flying extremely high, and I think this is the first time any part of the Cardano ecosystem has approached space. This is not something I thought I'd be seeing when I woke up this morning or in 2021 at all. But apparently, the Cardano ecosystem has now even almost reached space. I know somebody is going to try to tell me that they're part of some project that theoretically is doing like proof of work mining with CubeSats on some other blockchain. All I've got to say about that is to hell with your CubeSats. This is a project called Artifact, and Artifact is creating a moon metaverse. This is going to include 5,000 plots that will be customizable and subdividable within this metaverse. And they have taken real lunar mapping data and rendered height maps of these 5,000 unique plots on the moon. I guess they're representing approximately 1.8 million acres of what they're calling the artifact moon. And as you'd expect, there's a dark side of the moon and a light side of the moon, and I guess these will be distinguishable by color. And it's a little bit unclear to me what else is going to involve. They're saying there's going to be 24 landing sites, one monolith, a magnetic anomaly has also been detected somewhere near Tycho crater. There is a 1 in 5,000 chance that you'll find it. This is obvious, 5,000 parcels. This is all going on pretty soon. I have no idea which of these metaverses will actually execute on their plans. I hope they all do. That'd be great if they all do. Probably they will execute to varying degrees of success, but it's going to be fun to sit around and watch this all go down. Just to be clear, I have no idea when this actually gets built out or what will actually get built out or whether or not they'll execute on whatever plans they present to the community. It's just the actual sale of the parcels that's going down pretty soon. Also, I want to make it clear, I don't have anything to do with this project. I'm not associated with the team. I've never talked to the team. I'm just a casual observer, just like you. We've got yet another DEX, guys. This one is called WingRiders, and it's coming to you from Vacuum Labs, who you probably know as the team behind the Adalite wallet. Speaking of wallets, Vacuum Labs also announced they're releasing a new wallet called NuFi, which they're branding as a non-custodial crypto wealth management platform for a new financial future. They're calling this a multi-chain staking capable wallet, since you can manage your staking on both Cardano and Solana in this wallet. Down here below in the thread, we also see a hint that eventually it looks like they would be integrating the DEX into the wallet, so you can do token swaps directly in this NuFi wallet. Pavia also had a report for us today. They're saying that these are the final sections of the Pavia Map. You can see there's a lot more water, and People who maybe thought they were on a giant piece of land may find that they were actually on a peninsula. I think that's going to be the case for all of these people over in here and all these people over in here, or at least for these people who are already on this piece of land that turned out to be some kind of a peninsula, and for these people as well. This is going to be interesting. It's a really interesting cadence, the way Pavia sort of releases, trickles out little bits of information, a little bit of it at a time. To me, this is almost, in a way, it's almost a little bit more comforting than if they just dropped some gigantic, super detailed plan and then we watch them slowly not meet those expectations. Look at Jay Powell in this picture that CNBC ran with. He looks like an old owl up in an elm tree, scanning a meadow, looking for mice because he's a hungry old owl. Like the second he sees that mouse, he's going to leap from the tree because he's kind of a Jay Powell owl. I don't know if he's flying or if he's leaping. He's probably leaping. Leap from the tree, attack the mouse, and that's going to be his dinner. That's what this look on his face says. It's like old hungry owl. But what he's actually trying to communicate is that the Fed, as expected, the Fed is going to taper faster than they previously thought. That means they're going to decrease the amount of assets they're buying each month faster than previously thought. They're going next month in January, they're going to start buying 60 billion of bonds each month. That's 30 billion per month less than currently. They're also going to, it looks like they're also going to have 3 rate hikes in 2022, 2 in 2023, and 2 more in 2024. I know you're thinking, hey, why don't we know? Why are you saying it looks like? Because what we get out of these meetings is the dot plot. What is the dot plot? Okay, when people are talking about these Fed meetings, they're usually talking about the FOMC meeting. The Federal Open Market Committee oversees the nation's open market operations. For example, the buying and selling of US Treasury securities. They also make key decisions about interest rates and the growth of the United States money supply. That's where this dot plot comes in. At the end of every FOMC meeting, we get this document, which sums up exactly where they think everything's going. And one of the pages in this document right here shows us something very important. Each one of these dots is sort of the assessment of each of the participants in the FOMC meeting. And I'm saying participants for a reason, not members. That'll come up in just a second. But each of the participants, each dot represents where they think the federal funds rate will be in the given year or longer run. So in 2022, you can see we have one person here who thinks we're going to jump up from this rate near 0 to something between 0.25 and 0.5. We have 5 people who think we're going to be somewhere between 0.5 and 0.75. And then everybody else participating in the FOMC meeting thinks we're going to be between 0.75 and 1.25. So majority of the votes, everybody but 6 think that we're going to be above 1.75. When I first saw this though, and here's where the participants thing comes in. When I first saw this, I counted up the votes. There were only 18. That didn't make sense to me. I was confused because we showed 18 votes on that dot plot, 18 different assessments. I'm calling them votes, but they're really just assessments of where they think the middle of the interest rate range should be at the end of the year. And here we see it should be 7 members of the Federal Reserve Board plus 1 president of the New York Fed plus the 11 participating regional Federal Reserve Bank presidents. That should be 19, but we only had 18. Then I remembered this. We've got a vacant seat on the Federal Reserve Board of Governors. That is because Janet Yellen became Secretary of the Treasury and had to resign her seat on the Federal Reserve Board of Governors. So that's why we've got 18 and not 19 dots in the dot plot for each year here. We've got a kind of a straight line here. I mean, you can see we were close to 0. The federal funds rate close to 0 here. And then what they're expecting, the assessment of each participant of the FOMC meeting, is that we're kind of going to go on a straight line up here until we get to 2024. But you can see majority of the people think we're going to be in between 1 and 0.5 next year. The year after, majority of the participants think we'll be between 2 and 1.25. The next year, majority of their participants think we'll be between 1.75 and 2.5. This is a pretty straight up line. This is crypto. Why do we care about this? Back to the old hungry owl. All of this is happening parallel to Powell trying to retire the label / idea that we were going to experience transitory inflation. That idea led the Fed to adopt a flexible average inflation targeting policy. Or you could even, a lot of people would argue vice versa, the flexible average inflation targeting policy led to the thing that had to be labeled transitory inflation, but maybe isn't so transitory. So the flexible average inflation targeting policy was this policy where they thought they could get away with letting inflation run a little hot temporarily without any lasting problems, right? Transitory inflation. The recent out of control inflation numbers over 6% reported for both October and November, I believe, probably threw a little cold water on that idea. And now the Fed, the FOMC, knows that they have to correct pretty hard to solve this inflation. Nobody is going to go for this 6% inflation and think that's okay. They've got to correct pretty hard, raise interest rates, try to get inflation under control. Regardless of what our worldview might be as crypto people, it's obvious that some portion of the rest of the world thinks this might be a problem for crypto markets. So I think there's a quote in this article from Market Watch. The crypto market is uneasy about the Fed meeting and high inflation. Here's why. I think there's a great quote in here that kind of sums this up very concisely. So this analyst says higher in interest rates tend to cause violent sector rotations as investors dump risky assets such as cryptocurrencies for safer bets like value stocks. So obviously that is not necessarily something that anyone in crypto would ever say. We like to think that our crypto assets are not correlated to the other markets, the other asset markets like the equity markets, the stock markets. But this is definitely a sentiment I think that is shared by a certain chunk of the rest of the world outside of crypto, no matter what viewpoints we might take within crypto. The owl also had some things to say about crypto. It starts off kind of promising. He said that cryptocurrencies are not a financial stability concern, which kind of surprised me. That's a pretty broad statement. I don't think we've heard such a high level regulator say anything like that before. But on stablecoins, he struck a slightly different tone. He said stablecoins can certainly be a useful, efficient consumer serving part of the financial system if they're properly regulated, and they have the potential to scale, particularly if they were to be associated with one of the very large tech networks that exist. Okay, I don't know if we love that last large tech network association idea, but he also said right now they aren't properly regulated. And he went on to echo the sentiments that have been pushed really hard by the president's working group on these kinds of things when they said that stablecoins should be regulated and issued by insured banks. That is definitely not anything anybody in crypto I think wants or supports. Definitely not if we want DeFi to look anything like it currently looks in crypto. I think 2022 is going to be an unfolding story on that front as the president's working group and the many federal regulators who are part of it go about this agenda of making sure stablecoins are regulated and issued by insured banks. So once again, it's looking like North American DeFi probably has some obstacles to surmount in 2022, but I hope you're having a great week and I will talk to you tomorrow.